Chapter 3. Breakfast and Richard. "Wakey, wakey, don't be flaky," a stentorian voice rang abruptly in Juliana's ear. The voice belonged to the guard, Wardlow. She fluttered open her eyes, still crusty with sleep, and promptly closed them again. The memory of last night flooded over her. Next she was aware of a bustling and rustling and a general scurrying to do. Looking about her in the watery light of dawn, she saw more clearly now that she was lying in a long, rectangular room. Handsome wooden beams arched across a tall vaulted ceiling. A neat row of small windows, or gratings, criss-crossed by diagonal lead bars, lined the top of each side of the room. These windows let in a thin shaving of light. 2 rows of little straw beds were lined up against each wall in dormitory fashion. Each pallet was covered in canvas and topped with a pillow and blanket. They all lay neatly on a bare wooden floor, and on each bed lay a child. "Sorry, but what are you all doing?" Juliana asked the sleepy boy she had exchanged a brief word with last night, for she was bewildered by the flurry of activity all around her. "Making our beds," he said, pulling the coarse grey blanket over his little pallet and smoothing down a lumpy canvas pillow. Then he walked over to a table propped up against the side of one wall. He picked up a wooden cup and a pewter plate and handed it to her. "Thanks," she said. She suddenly felt a great thirst and hunger after her adventure last night. Without thinking, she gulped down the contents of the cup. "Ugh," she coughed. "Oh, water! I need water to wash away the taste of that disgusting stuff. It tastes like pond scum." She croaked in a low, raspy voice. "What is that?" she sputtered. Richard looked at her sideways. "You know, it's green grog. Everyone drinks it. Or are you only one of those people who drink water?" he asked. Yes," she said. "Pardon my ignorance, but what's in it?" "It's made from wormwood and green algae, harvested from the ponds. It's very nourishing," he answered, eyeing her suspiciously. Cautiously she picked up a piece of the dark rectangle that lay on the pewter plate. "Black bread," said the boy. It felt heavy, had a coarse texture and an earthy molasses sort of taste. "Sometimes we have it with a bit of warm fish on top." In a conspiratorial whisper he added, "My friend Beethan calls it the devil's belch." He giggled. Really, boys were tiresome, she thought, even in this strange place. She tried her phone again. No luck. Darn, still no mobile phone coverage. I've got to complain to Telstra about this. Plunking down her 3rd-generation Android angrily, she turned to the boy who had given her the food and drink. Listen, what's your name?" she asked distractedly. "Richard." "Well, Richard, sorry to gatecrash your little party. Love the old world theme, by the way. Must try it sometime. But is there a phone here that I could use, please? You see, I got off the bus at the wrong stop and my phone won't work, and," she said. His dark eyes looked at her puzzled. He interjected, "Have you been on the Bacchusberries? You talk funny. Bluss, did you say? And fon?" he said slowly. "Phone," she automatically corrected him. "Whatever. Look, I just want to—" But before she could say any more, Wardlow appeared, giving her a sharp jab in the small of the back with the butt end of a blunderbuss. Not one to argue with a loaded weapon, even a medieval-looking one, she obeyed. "Go on, get a move on there, little matey," he said in a little less gruff voice, but still pointed the blunderbuss at her. Prodding and pushing all the children, he marched them all out through the broad arches of the oak-planked doors into the pale sunlight beyond.